Feeling lost and unsure of your direction in life? Discover how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help you uncover your true purpose and live a life filled with meaning and fulfillment. Tired of feeling unfulfilled and adrift in a sea of uncertainty? This video explores how Stoic principles can guide you on a journey of self-discovery, helping you identify your values and align your actions for a life of true purpose. The secret to a meaningful life might be hidden in the wisdom of the Stoics. Join us as we explore how their timeless philosophy can unlock your true potential and lead you to a life of purpose and happiness. Let me ask you something most people are too afraid to admit out loud. Do you ever feel like you're drifting through life without a clear purpose? Maybe you're successful on paper. Maybe you've checked all the boxes: career, family, goals. And yet, deep down, something's still missing. You wake up, go through the motions, and somewhere in the quiet moments, when no one's watching, you ask yourself, is this all there is? If that question feels familiar, you're not alone. In fact, you're part of a silent majority. People searching, reaching, striving, but not truly finding. 1. The modern purpose crisis. We live in the most connected, most comfortable, and most advanced era in human history. And yet, more people than ever are feeling anxious, unfulfilled, and spiritually lost. Why? Because the world has trained us to look outward for purpose. More followers, a better title, a higher salary. Someone to finally tell us, you matter. But purpose isn't something handed to you. It's not a job description. It's not an achievement. It's not something you find in someone else's approval. Purpose is something you build internally. And if you're chasing it in the noise of the world, you're missing the only place it's ever truly lived, within yourself. 2. When traditional approaches fall short. How many times have we been told, just follow your passion, or do what makes you happy? And yet, how many of us end up even more confused? The truth is, passion fades, motivation changes. Feelings are unreliable. When we base our purpose on external highs or social validation, we end up building our lives on shaky ground. One setback, one failure, one rejection, and everything collapses. That's why so many people feel lost. Not because they haven't worked hard, but because they've been taught to build in the wrong direction. 3. Enter Stoicism, a compass in the storm. And that's where Stoicism comes in. Not as a trendy life hack, not as cold, emotionless philosophy, but as a time-tested framework for living with clarity, strength, and direction, especially when the world feels overwhelming. The Stoics believed that the good life wasn't about chasing pleasure or avoiding pain. It was about living in alignment with your values, with virtue. They taught that purpose isn't something to be found. It's something you create by how you live, how you think, and how you respond to what life throws your way. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." That, right there, is purpose, to rise and show up, not for applause, but because it's the right thing to do. 4. What this series is about. In this video, and in this series, we're not going to give you shallow slogans or vague affirmations. We're going to explore what the Stoics knew deeply. That purpose is a process, a practice, a daily choice. We'll walk through the challenges of modern life and how ancient wisdom can light the path forward. We'll ask deeper questions. What if purpose isn't about what you do, but who you become? What if clarity doesn't come from doing more, but from doing less, with intention? What if fulfillment is found not in the pursuit of success, but in the cultivation of virtue? This isn't philosophy for scholars. It's philosophy for real people, in real life, facing real struggles. 5. Your journey begins here. So if you've ever felt lost, this is your invitation to return, not to the past, but to yourself, to begin practicing the kind of inner stillness, discipline, and self-knowledge that leads to real purpose, not the kind that flickers, but the kind that lasts. You don't need to quit your job, change your city, or wait for some grand calling. You just need to start asking better questions and listening to the quiet answers that are already inside you. Because purpose isn't a destination. It's how you walk the path. If this message speaks to something in you, stay with us. Hit that subscribe button and join us as we dive into the Stoic tools that help you build purpose from the inside out. Because in a world full of noise and distraction, your clarity is your rebellion. And your daily choices, they're your legacy. This is your moment to reclaim your life, not by chasing more, but by living with intention. Let's begin. Chapter 1. How Stoic wisdom reveals your true purpose. We all want to find our purpose. That one thing that makes us feel alive, that sense of direction that grounds us, even when life gets messy, that deep inner knowing, this is what I'm here for. But what if we've been searching in the wrong places? What if purpose isn't something you stumble upon, but something you cultivate from within? This is where Stoic philosophy offers us something rare in today's chaotic world. Clarity, discipline, and above all, a path to a meaningful life. 1. The power of virtue, the foundation of purpose. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life wasn't fame, fortune, or even happiness. It was virtue. Not in some old-fashioned, moralistic way, but as a set of inner strengths that give your life direction, depth, and dignity. There are 4 core Stoic virtues. Wisdom, the ability to see clearly and act rightly. Courage, the strength to do what's right, even when it's hard. Justice, the commitment to fairness, honesty, and service to others. Temperance, the discipline to live with balance and self-control. These virtues aren't just ideas, they're actions. And when you live them daily, even in small ways, you build a kind of purpose that external success can never match. Think about it. What good is a successful career if you don't act with integrity? What value is a relationship if there's no honesty or balance? The Stoics teach us that real purpose isn't found in the outcome. It's found in the character you bring to every moment. 2. What's within your control and what isn't. One of the most liberating Stoic ideas is this: some things are up to us, some things are not. Let that sink in. Most of us live in constant stress because we try to control what we were never meant to. Other people's opinions, the past, the future, outcomes, results, recognition. But Stoicism brings us back to this simple truth. Your thoughts, actions, and values, those are yours. Everything else, let it go. This doesn't mean apathy. It means freedom. Because when you stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters. How you respond, how you show up, how you live, regardless of what happens. And that's where your purpose begins to take shape. Not in what life gives you, but in how you choose to live right now. 3. Living in accordance with nature, your true design. The Stoics also believe that to live a good life, you must live in accordance with nature. Now, this doesn't mean going off grid or hugging trees, though feel free if that brings you peace. It means living in alignment with your true nature, with the kind of being you were made to be. And what is that? A rational, moral, social creature. Someone capable of thought, action, compassion, and contribution. Your purpose isn't to chase pleasure or avoid discomfort. It's to live as a fully expressed human being, using your mind, your heart, and your courage to make life better for yourself and others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just as a carpenter's purpose is to build, yours is to act according to reason and virtue." So ask yourself, are you living in a way that reflects your deepest values? Are your daily choices aligned with the kind of person you want to be? If not, good news. You can realign. You can choose again. Every moment is a chance to return to your path. 4. Purpose is found in the practice. Let's be honest. In today's world, it's easy to get distracted. We're constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, but the Stoics remind us, your purpose isn't a destination. It's not something you magically discover. It's something you live day by day through consistent practice. Every time you choose courage over fear, every time you respond with patience instead of anger, every time you stay true to your values when no one's watching, you are living your purpose. Not someday, not when things are perfect. Right now, if this message spoke to you, pause for a moment. Reflect. Ask yourself, what virtue do I want to embody more today? What can I let go of that's outside my control? Where in my life am I ready to realign with who I truly am? Because the Stoics didn't wait for life to hand them clarity. They built it from the inside out, and so can you. If you're ready to keep walking this path with us, hit that subscribe button. Every week, we dive deeper into timeless wisdom for modern clarity. Because your purpose isn't hiding. It's just waiting for you to come home to it, one disciplined choice at a time. Let's continue this journey together. Chapter 2. How to discover what truly matters to you. The Stoic way to clarify your core values. Let me ask you something. Most people never stop to consider. What do you truly value? Not what society told you to value. Not what your parents or teachers expected. Not what gets the most likes online, but you, deep down, what actually matters to you. If you don't have a clear answer, that's okay. Most people don't. But here's the truth. Until you identify your core values, you'll always feel pulled, distracted, and unsure, like you're living someone else's life. Because clarity doesn't begin with your goals, it begins with your beliefs. 1. The Stoic starting point. Know thyself. The Stoics taught that the path to wisdom begins within, not with external achievements, but with self-reflection. Seneca wrote, "The soul should be called upon for an accounting every day." That's not just poetic, that's practical. We live in a world that teaches us to look outward for direction. But the Stoics flipped that idea on its head. They asked, what do I stand for? What do I believe is right, no matter what others say? What virtues matter more than comfort, popularity, or even success? So how do you begin that journey? With silence, with awareness, and with honest introspection. 2. Practice introspection. Sit with your own mind. Start here. Take 10 to 15 minutes each day, just for yourself. No screens, no noise. Just you, a journal, and a willingness to listen inward. Ask yourself, when have I felt most proud of who I was? When have I felt conflicted, even if everything looked good? What actions or decisions have brought me peace? long after the moment passed. This process is powerful because it bypasses trends, pressure, and ego, and brings you face to face with what your life is actually built on. You're not looking for perfect answers. You're looking for patterns, moments when your actions felt aligned with something deeper. That's where values begin to surface. 3. Watch your reactions. They reveal your real beliefs. Here's something you may have overlooked. Your strongest emotional responses, anger, joy, shame, frustration, are direct signals from your value system. If betrayal enrages you, you likely value loyalty. If injustice rattles you, you likely care deeply about fairness. If you feel hollow after playing along just to fit in, you likely value authenticity. Our emotions may seem irrational at times, but they're actually some of the clearest windows into what we really care about. So the next time something triggers you, don't just react. Pause, reflect. Ask, what value of mine feels threatened right now? Because hidden in that moment is truth. 4. Define and prioritize your values hierarchy. Once you've done the inner work, journaled, observed your emotions, noticed your patterns, it's time to go deeper. Start building your values hierarchy. This is where you don't just list your values, you rank them. Why? Because in life, values sometimes compete. You may value both freedom and security, both ambition and balance, both honesty and kindness. But when life forces you to choose, which comes first? That's your true compass. The Stoics were clear on this. Virtue must come before outcome. Doing what's right must outweigh what's easy, popular, or convenient. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's the voice of a man who knew what he stood for. And once you define your top 3 to 5 core values, you'll begin to see every decision, big or small, through a new lens. Does this align with who I want to be? Is this rooted in my values, or in fear, ego, or pressure? That one filter can change everything. 5. Values in action. Living with integrity. At the end of the day, values aren't just beliefs, they're behaviors. You don't have a value unless you're living it. It's easy to say you value kindness, but do your words reflect that in hard conversations? It's easy to say you value courage, but are you willing to speak up when it costs you something? This is where Stoicism becomes more than theory. It becomes practice. Your purpose isn't revealed in grand declarations. It's forged in small daily choices. Choosing honesty when a white lie would be easier. Choosing patience when frustration rises. Choosing discipline when comfort whispers your name. That's how your life begins to take shape, from the inside out. If you've ever felt pulled in too many directions, this is your moment to stop, to return, to realign. To start defining your life not by what's expected, but by what you deeply believe in. So here's your challenge. Journal about a moment you felt most proud of who you were. Identify one reaction you had this week and ask what value it revealed. Begin building your values list and start putting it into practice. And if this message resonated, subscribe to this channel. Because in a noisy world that tries to define you for you, we're here to help you listen inward, where purpose, power, and peace truly begin. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to live in alignment. And that is the Stoic way. Chapter 3. Living with Purpose. How to align your actions with what truly matters. Let's be honest for a second. Knowing your purpose is one thing, But living in alignment with it, that's something else entirely. It's easy to write down your values on paper. It's easy to talk about purpose, passion, vision. But the real test? It's how you live when things don't go your way. It's the choices you make when no one's watching. It's the quiet, disciplined moments, when comfort calls your name and you choose character instead. That's what this is about. Living with purpose isn't about being perfect. It's about being aligned. Let's explore how the Stoics approach this. 1. Accepting what you cannot control. One of the deepest Stoic teachings is also one of the most liberating. Some things are up to us, some things are not. Epictetus. You can't control the economy. You can't control how others treat you. You can't control outcomes, weather, politics, or time. But you can control your mindset, your attitude, your actions, your response. So what does this have to do with purpose? Everything. Because the moment you stop wasting energy trying to bend the world to your will, you free up that energy to live your values, fully and fearlessly, no matter the conditions. This is how you develop equanimity, a steady, grounded presence that doesn't rise or fall with external events. Purpose doesn't mean the path will always be clear. It means you keep walking, especially when the way forward is uncertain. 2. Acting in accordance with your values. Here's the hard truth most people avoid. You can't claim to live with purpose if your actions don't reflect your values. You say you value honesty. Do you tell the truth when it's inconvenient? You say you value growth. Are you willing to admit when you're wrong? You say you value peace. Do your habits protect it or sabotage it? Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." B1. This isn't about performance. It's about alignment. Living in purpose isn't a single breakthrough moment. It's 1,000 micro decisions. Choosing patience over impulse. Choosing discipline over comfort. Choosing courage over fear. Choosing silence over ego. And the beauty is, you don't need anyone's permission. You can start now, in this moment, in your next conversation, in your next decision, in how you respond when something throws you off track. That's where integrity is built. That's where purpose becomes real. 3. Embracing a growth mindset. The journey is the purpose. Living in alignment doesn't mean you always get it right. It means you're always willing to get better. And that's what separates the Stoic approach from rigid perfectionism. The Stoics weren't obsessed with being flawless. They were committed to learning, adjusting, and evolving. Every challenge, a teacher. Every failure, feedback. Every moment, an opportunity to improve your character. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." So here's the question. When life tests you, do you see it as a setback or a sharpening? Because if your purpose is real, it can't be fragile. It has to grow with you. A growth mindset means letting go of pride, staying humble, and remaining curious. You'll never arrive, but with each day, you'll move closer to alignment. And that's what matters. 4. Putting it all together. Living as the person you were meant to be when you accept what you can't control. When you align your actions with your values. When you embrace every challenge as a chance to grow. You begin to live in a way that's not just meaningful, but unshakable. People around you may not understand it. The world may tempt you to compromise. But when you go to bed at night, you'll know. I lived today with purpose. I stayed true to who I am. I honored my path. And that feeling? It's not found in applause, awards, or external success. It's found in the quiet knowing I showed up today with integrity. That's stoicism. That's power. That's peace. So here's your challenge. Identify one area of your life where you've been out of alignment. Ask yourself, what value have I neglected? And then commit, just for today, to living that value in action, not perfectly, but purposefully. And if this message resonates with you, subscribe to this channel, because here, we don't chase hype, we build strength. We build stillness, and we walk the path together. Your purpose isn't a title. It's not a role. It's how you choose to live, moment by moment, breath by breath. Let today be the day you align with it. So after all we've explored, let's take a moment to come back to the heart of it all. What does it really mean to live with purpose? Most of us are taught to believe that purpose is some grand revelation, a single moment of clarity, a once-in-a-lifetime epiphany. But the truth is, that's not how purpose works, at least not in the Stoic view. 1. Purpose isn't a destination, it's a way of traveling. You see, Stoicism doesn't promise that you'll wake up one day and magically find your purpose like it's buried treasure. Instead, it teaches something far more honest and far more powerful. Purpose is not something you find. Purpose is something you live. And you don't need the perfect plan to begin. You just need the courage to ask better questions. What kind of person am I becoming? Am I living in alignment with what I value? Am I responding to life with virtue or reacting with impulse? Because your true purpose, it's not out there in the future. It's here, now, in the next choice you make. 2. The joy of the pursuit. There's something beautiful in realizing that you don't need all the answers to feel fulfilled. Purpose isn't about having it all figured out. It's about waking up each day and moving with intention. Doing what you can, with what you have, where you are. Showing up with courage, discipline, patience, and presence, even when it's hard. And when you do that consistently, something shifts. You begin to feel grounded, focused, alive. Even in chaos, you feel centered. Even in uncertainty, you feel guided. Not because life is easy, but because you are clear. 3. A Stoic life is a life of alignment. Let's be clear. Stoicism is not about detachment from the world. It's not about emotionless existence or suppressing joy. Quite the opposite. It's about being deeply present with reality, facing it honestly, responding with clarity, living in tune with what matters most. And that's what makes a life meaningful. Not perfection, not praise, but alignment. When your actions match your values, when your decisions reflect your character, when your time reflects what you say is important, that's purpose. That's peace. And that's power. 4. You don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to be authentic. The world will try to sell you a version of purpose that looks flashy. Start a business. Go viral. Leave a legacy, but purpose doesn't require an audience. It doesn't need a title. It doesn't need to impress anyone. What it needs is honesty. Are you living the life that's true to you? Because a quiet, steady life lived with intention can be more meaningful than a loud one chasing applause. The Stoics didn't chase glory. They chased virtue, and in doing so, they found something most people never do. A kind of peace that can't be shaken. A kind of purpose that doesn't fade. 5. The journey is the reward. So where do you go from here? You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need a perfect morning routine, a 5-year plan, or a label to put on your purpose. You just need to begin. Right now. where you are, with what you know. Start by asking yourself each day, am I living in alignment? Am I choosing virtue over comfort? Am I being the kind of person I would respect, even in private? Because those questions, they'll take you further than any external goal ever could. They'll shape not just what you do, but who you become. And that is what Stoicism calls us to. Not to escape the world, but to meet it, grounded, grateful, and fully alive. So if this message spoke to something deep inside you, don't let it fade. Make a decision today to live a little more intentionally, to ask deeper questions, to align your daily actions with the values that matter most. And if you want guidance along the way, if you want to keep growing with this kind of clarity and calm, subscribe to this channel. Because we're building something rare here. A community that doesn't just talk about purpose, but practices it. Every day, every choice, every step forward. You don't have to be perfect to live with purpose. You just have to be present. And that is enough. Let's walk this journey together.